them. St. Clair. Force back already so low. Reddick taking down 2, taking down 1.
Immediately, this should be all she wrote. Soaks with one on the icy.
Stand until the whole squad.
First gamer tag in like 2008. I had the gamer tag Apple I-50.
McBender 91.
Alonso.
Oh, it's a terrible gamer tag. Dan 2 Rock 4.
God Rupert. C9 Frosty. I wasn't on C9.
Sock my sock. Like the Pokemon, not like I don't know. Yeah.
Electro knives. Oof, oof. 2 Z's, by the way. Oof. I don't know what I was thinking.
It was like either Mega Jack or Super Jack and then some numbers when I was like 6 years old on Minecraft.
That's absolutely horrible.
What I'm most looking forward to is to see like all the boys make it.
Div Winland.
I think it's just a win. Like, our team has been going through a lot of changes. I want to see how far we can push it and see if we can finish third or get like a podium.
Looking forward to competing with tough opponents and having a good time with my team.
I really want to break that top 5, top 4 threshold.
Winning seal.
I'm looking for a revenge on CCL.
Getting top 4.
To be honest, nothing. I don't really have anything to look forward to. Next semester is what I'm looking forward to.
I'm looking to win CCL. We only lost that one, so.
What's up, guys? We're here with members of the Overwatch team for a Pokemon Roulette Wheel Challenge. On the wheel, we have different characteristics of Pokemon that they have to hunt down in the open world. The catch is, all the Pokemon that they have to find have been randomized, and they have to catch a Pokemon with that attribute. First one to get 3 is going to win the challenge.
Yay!
Yay!
W Pokemon! Are you excited for Gen 10, guys?
Yes.
Oh my
Pokemon
God.
Wind and Waves?
Wait, you can't leak that. You're not allowed to leak
Sorry.
that.
Sorry.
But we're gonna get canceled by Pokemon.
Yo, MP.
Yeah, no, this map is actually crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
Waterman.
Yo, Chris God, what the hell are you doing, bro? We got a match, bro. You're late.
Yo, I gotta go.
Yo, lock in,
Yo,
bro.
I gotta go. now I'm good.
Classic. Alright, what do we got here? Oh, chat, this guy is cooked. Oh, pre-fire. Pop it open. Warming up those fingies. And now he's just not missing any shots? That can't be how that works. Moving on. Ooh, obelisk. And chimps in VR helmets. And a legally differentiated enough version of film score.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to what could be one of the most exciting casts of the year. I'm Patrick Smoke Chambers, joined by Evan, not really Evan Johnson. We've got a CRL doubleheader tonight. Lots of Saints action. Saints green team going up against Fisher and then Maryville. A faded matchup that we've been honestly hyping up for the entirety of the collegiate season.
Yeah, this Maryville matchup especially is going to be one that we're really looking at. But I think the onset, these are two, storied rivals of the program, you could even say that, you face both of them tonight. And a lot of questions are going to be answered about this green team today. Are they really built for a top, spot in CRL? Are they one of these elite teams? And we're definitely going to find out the answer tonight one way or the other.
Yeah, we definitely are. The number one thing that I was thinking about, Ev, is when you're looking at CRL in general, we had a cracking start, right? I mean, 6-2 as of right now. We started, I wanted to say, through our first 5, I think 4-1. We might have even went undefeated. I can't quite recollect, but the whole point is these guys were on fire. They've taken some losses that, again, little bit, not necessarily controversial, but kind of puts us in our place a little bit when you start thinking about power rankings and where these teams are. Obviously, for the hot start that St. Clair were off on, everyone was like, okay, hold on. These guys are like the number one team in collegiate right now, right? You then take losses to Northwood in 5 and also Winthrop again in 5, and all of a sudden we're thinking, okay, wait a minute. These are two contenders that they've gone down to, right, through slim standings. Looking at who they've beaten, again, teams that you really think about St. Clair should be handling. So at the end of the day, when you're looking at the rest of the remaining schedule, you take a team like Fisher, who's 4th right now at 7-3. You take a team like Maryville right now, who's 9-3 and in 2nd place. This is where you separate the men from the boys. This is where you are going to find out if you guys actually are deserving of getting to the next level of collegiate play.
It's true. I mean, I don't know what.
And look at this.
I don't know what is happening with
Thermal
Rex right now. He's given a couple big booms, I think, for his team tonight, because they're going to need some big booming play from the entire roster, because all of these teams, they're just from top to bottom, just very well built organizations, right? I mean, we could sort of talk about Fisher first, like you said, coming in 7-3. Oh, what is in the bag? I guess we'll never know. We'll never know. Man, hopefully Tomas is doing better. He had a rough week last week with Italy not qualifying for the World Cup, so I hope.
I think it's still too soon. I don't know if we can bring it up.
I hope he's having a better time, and hopefully he'll have a good night tonight if St. Clair can find some wins. I think even just going 1-1 tonight, I think is still something salvageable. We were sort of talking. My prediction, I think they can get past Fisher, but I'm not sure about Maryville. But you were sort of feeling the opposite. You were saying that might be a little bit of turmoil on this Maryville side. Can you explain that just a little bit more?
Well, I don't necessarily know if I'd say turmoil, and again, these are just things that I've kind of heard through word of mouth and whatnot, so I wouldn't exactly say that there is anything wrong with Maryville. Obviously, they're 9-3, they're doing good, but let's just take some things into consideration. For one, they have some losses on the record that simply should not have happened. Mainly Indiana Tech, and they also were downed in a series against Davenport. These are two teams that aren't even in, I want to say, the top 7. Like, they don't have good records in CRL. They're losing to a lot of teams that we have beaten already. So, again, while they do have 9 wins, and it seems like they have definitely gotten and steered this ship back under control, they weren't looking good early on. And the other thing is these guys as well, Arju, Speed, Relating Wave, they don't play together in RLCS either. One of the biggest reasons on why, obviously, like, I thought this was going to be a crazy good team in Maryville was because when you give Arju and Shuffleverse an opportunity to play with their RLCS team in Shuffles Kittens, they go over to Maryville, they have one split that doesn't go their way in RLCS, and then they just break up and they don't even play together. Right? I mean, you can kind of see where I'm sitting here, and I'm like, I don't really get how that makes sense, right? And why would you break this team up if then that's going to affect maybe where you are collegiately? I get that they obviously care about where they are pro-wise a lot more, but these are some things that stir the pot a little bit, and that has to definitely been said, right? So, again, I do think that Maryville, while they are a great team, and I don't think at all that they're going to be holding back on their punches, especially up against Arju and Shuffle's old team here in St. Clair, there is definitely a shot that I can see Maryville jumping the gun, maybe underestimating, and maybe St. Clair pulls out with the win.
It's definitely very possible. I mean, we can look ahead a little bit closer too, and I think you mentioned the elephant in the room, I think, with this game set tonight, is that this is the first time that St. Clair is going to be playing against Arju and Shuffle since they've joined Maryville. So I think even at the onset, I hope that the Saints are ready for that, because I think that alone just adds so much more emotional stakes, right?
Yeah.
Like, these are two really elite teams that are going for it, fighting for these top spots, and when you're up against two former comrades, right? You know, you guys won championships
back to
with these guys, right? Like, that was a very tight-knit group that they had, and then to have them, you know, split like that, you know, it definitely, you know, we're still feeling the shockwaves. You know, that was a very big move in terms of collegiate Valorant, or not Valorant, Rocket League in this case, but it's going to be really, really exciting to see how they match up. You know, maybe you think that Sai and Jazzy especially maybe have a little bit of insider information on RG. You think that maybe that would help in their fight tonight, but then that's a two-way street, right? RG then has the counter intel on St. Clair. So I think for me, that's the matchup I'm really, really looking forward to tonight. Obviously, I don't want to downplay this game against Fisher, because I think every time St. Clair and Fisher go up against each other, it's always going to be a good time. But that Maryville one just has a little bit of extra stakes on top of it.
Yeah, it definitely does, but again, if you're looking past this Fisher lineup, you're already not putting any attention on them, you've already lost to them, because these guys are also really damn good players. Royals and Justus as well, they are playing on one with Matter. They just made top 12 in RLCS, and they're a team that can consistently break through to that top 16, very much just like Jazzy and Zai have with fellas teaming up with Andy, right? And you take their third, Ivan, on Southampton Academy right now with Kevin and Velocity, plus Press as well. Pedro, shout out, used to be here as well. These guys, they're not nobodies. And if you don't know their names, get to know them. It either means you haven't watched RLCS or you just ain't got ball knowledge like that. You look past these guys, and I'm telling you, they're going to make you pay for it. 7-3 right now. They're sitting in fourth. 1-1 if we were finishing tonight like that, I'd be okay with that, obviously. But you really just want to not go 0-2. If you lose both of these series tonight, that is huge. And to me, the number one thing I'm worried about is, you've been talking with these players all semester, at least we have, Evan. What's the number one thing we always talk about? What's the matchup you're looking forward to? Oh, we got to beat Maryville. We're looking at Maryville. We got to beat Maryville. If you're so focused on that matchup, you're going to drop one to Fisher. Man, that's tough, because Fisher are a team that, like we said, with their record, you can definitely tie tonight if you lock in or overtake. So you got to be on your top toes with both of these teams. This is going to be the most important night of the year in collegiate standings for these three to lock in.
Absolutely agree. And I mean, I don't think you can really I don't think you really set it up any larger than that, because it's true. It is so big. And I think the team is going to have to be ready, because like we've seen, because we've watched a lot of their games this semester, sometimes they can get out to a very slow start at the onset. I mean, we've seen a minute gone by in this game, and nothing has happened, at least nothing that we've missed so far. But you really hope that St. Clair, they don't sort of fall into those same traps that before, where sometimes it does take a little bit for the offense to start going. This defense could be a little bit slower than what we're accustomed to. They're going to have to be ready from the onset.
Yeah, well, here we go. The wait no longer going to be happening. 3 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in game number 1, and right now St. Clair trying to see if they can develop some offense. Sai off the sidewall, just barely misses the centering ball. Just who's going to clear. Ivan off the side. Play to the corner right now, and watch out for the middle man as Jazzy going to boom that down. It's going to be Vesh. Has a little bit of a waterfall, and he's going to be able to convert on it. St. Clair, they strike with first blood.
And this is a guy you've been talking about recently. He's really started to come into his own and find his role in the team, and we're really seeing it right now. I mean, this is a guy who's, he's sort of fitting into that old role that Arju has, and he's really doing a good job at finding his own identity on the team and starting to produce for the team. So great to see Vesh making a big impact early. And I mean, he even has a chance at a solo play here. Sai also trying to get a shot in. Not going to happen, but great to see some early opportunities for St. Clair.
You got to watch out, though. Vesh, he's rotating a little bit narrow here, and he's got to make at least a little bit of a play for Zion. He's done just that, so good job there from the Polish defenders. Now, Jazzy trying to just pre-jump this ball to try to see if he can pass it to the center, as Vesh is going to try to cut off. Royales, air dribble in hand. The pass, it's well done from Justus, but not enough sauce on it. St. Clair, they survive the attack from Fisher.
So far, survive the attack. Already back into Fisher's end. While Fisher, they've had their chances. St. Clair's defense looking, of course, as soon as I was about to compliment their defense, Fisher coming back on the other end, and we'll see how this will get set up here. Justus just perfectly playing it to himself. I mean, just finding the holes in St. Clair's defense that up to this point had been fairly solid, but like you said, you cannot get complacent against this Fisher team. They will find ways to punish you if they get going.
And I mean, Royales with those resets as well had the perfect pop to try to get it to Justus. Is now a shot coming through. This one trying to get played for dunk, as Royales didn't quite have enough boost in the tank to position well. A demo is going to make things a little bit awkward for Jazzy on the back line. Got to play this near post. Nice pinch to save it out. And Zai now has a little bit of a dribble attempt, trying to fake it out. Plays for a low 50. This one being sent up. Vesh, the pre-jump that gets hit back into him, but St. Clair, this pace is ramping up so fast, you got to hope that you can stick with it or try to slow things down for your liking.
Well, sometimes it is tough for St. Clair to adapt to this pace, and sometimes they can even move a little bit too fast for their own good. Sometimes we do see a lot of overcommits that just leave, wide open holes in that defense that you just can't really afford to make those mistakes. Fisher will not let you get away with those types of mistakes in a series like this, and St. Clair, they are doing a good job at countering with pressure in Fisher's end. Just can't really seem to find it home, but I think that's more credit to Fisher's defense, if anything, in this case. They've just been a little bit better so far.
Yeah, they definitely have, Evan, and I think that, again, St. Clair, we talk about getting into the pacing of the rotation as well. This is something that they have to watch out for. Royales trying to cut through the midfield and playing with physicality. St. Clair, they've definitely faced a lot of this stuff before, especially in series up against Winthrop. We remember casting that Game 5 barn burner, at least from earlier in the semester, that being, I believe, from Nace, if I can remember correctly.
I think you're right about that, yeah.
We do know that, again, when graced with physicality, St. Clair, they know that they can give it back for sure. And Zai, he's done just that. A great job on the 50. This one, a little bit of an errant read from Justus, can't get there in time, and Royales, he's not there on the back post to clear.
Hey, just in the right place at the right time. I mean, we'll take those. I mean, I think you are going to have to get a couple of those weird goals going your way if you're St. Clair, if you want some hope of taking this series. And now that you have that goal lead established again, really time to lock down this defense to try and end this first game on a high note. I think getting a win here, Patrick, I think really would set the tone for not just this series, but for the rest of the night. And another one almost going through for St. Clair. A second attempt as well coming up short. But St. Clair, they might have the goal lead, but they're still pressing to add to this lead, trying to make a statement in this first game.
And these are great attempts right now that the Saints are developing, but hey, you know what? At the end of the day, you can't just do it on the offensive side. You got to make sure that you can convert on getting out in defense too. Vesh, unfortunately, going to get bodied out of the way. 0 boost, and he cannot beat Ivan to the shot in time. Great job from Fisher. They get through with their chows, and with 18 seconds left, they equalize.
Gotta give credit where credit is due. I mean, you talk about making St. Clair awkward, and that's just a bounce pass that they can't really do anything about. And Fisher, like we said, just when you think you have a way or have an avenue to take a lead, they can always surprise you and be sneaky like that. And might have another attempt right at the buzzer here. Justice trying to do it himself, but it will not happen. Overtime is needed for this first game, and I don't think this is the first time we're going to see OT in either of these series tonight.
Yeah, I definitely don't. Strap in. This is going to be a wild ride because right now St. Clair, they got to see if they can force up. At least Fisher, they force up too. A little bit of a double commit right now. Playing the low 50. The shot, where is it? Vesh, he didn't want to overcommit. And for good reason. This flick, if it was on target, he was too far up even for his liking. Fisher, they almost convert, and they just warn St. Clair, hey, you know what? Just don't bite off more than you can chew. Royales, the dribble downfield. St. Clair, 2 go. Vesh has to try to rotate back out wide side. 1 off the ceiling. Can he play for the double? Maybe has a reset in hand, but instead chooses to shoot. Good save from Ivan.
Now both teams training opportunities early in this OT, and I think St. Clair definitely thanking the Rocket League gods that that one did not go in, because like you said, just completely out of position is Vesh, and St. Clair doing a good job at trying to lock down on this defense and trying to create opportunities, but just can't seem to really get anything under control. This Fisher defense is just really locked down and created more control in time of possession for Fisher, but Sai, he's trying to clear this out as fast as he can. Is going to get bumped by Royale, so this is still going to be an extended possession for Fisher. Still save it. Ivan, he's trying to bounce it off the board to himself. No teammate in sight, though, but Justice saving that clear from going through.
St. Clair, they're just playing for clears, though, and playing for time. They're getting suffocated right now in their own defensive half. Vesh up with 0, has to force to go back up, and now Jazzy, they needed this, at least a play to burn some time off and at least get a lane downfield. And it doesn't necessarily have to set up an offense, a bit of maybe even a team bump coming through, but nothing that St. Clair can't recover from. They just needed time to get out of their own end, and they were at least able to have it, but right now you might be looking at going back on the defensive side of things. Royales with 1. Has a little bit of a carryover, fakes another, but it's going to be Zai who's there for the insurance.
Seems like you can only shut down Fisher for so long before they find a way back in. And St. Clair, I want to see much longer offensive possessions in Fisher's end, because right now in this overtime, it has just been completely dominated by this team over on the blue side. Yes, St. Clair's defense has been able to hold, but still not good enough to put pressure on the Fisher defenders. And St. Clair, another opportunity coming up short. Going to have to get back on the defense. Sai is going to be able to get that pass, but get a little bit of a bump coming through from the side of Fisher. So still not cleared out. Ball right in front of the net. Thank goodness Sai is there to redirect that, because that one looks like a pretty juicy opportunity for this Fisher side, but you can only hold the back for so long. Royales doing it himself, taking advantage of that redirect and sneaking past all St. Clair defenders. Fisher sneak away with game 1 after St. Clair was 45 seconds away from a game 1 victory.
Yeah, and again, you know, these guys, these low 50s that Fisher are creating, they're only working for their benefit. They're going high, they're juggling back into the middle, and they're going to create shot opportunities, and it just takes one little play of creativity to completely switch everything around. Everyone thinks Royales is going to at least shoot here or get a reset. Instead, he flips his car upside down, tilts the head of his car up, and finds the sweet spot to catch the ball. Using the aerial right, he's going to continue the dribble, and it just goes right through any St. Clair defender who thinks that the shot's coming through. It's a brilliant play and show of mechanical skill from Royales, and Fisher, off of some mechanical brilliance like that, they deserve to be up 1 game right now. St. Clair, they got to get this one done, and minimum 4 if they want to take this series.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they need to do. And I mean, they had a good chance to get it. I don't think it's even they became complacent at the end. It's just after St. Clair is up late, Fisher just completely took over. And even in that OT period, the longer it went on, you could just feel that Fisher was just slowly taking control away from St. Clair, just suffocating on defense, not giving them a chance to really get anything set. And that paid dividends for them as they find a very scrappy win in Game 1 that St. Clair, for the most part, had done a good job of staying afloat and treading water, but they're going to have to swim a little bit farther if they want to make it to the end of the series, and Fisher already almost starting this game off right where the last one ended.
I mean, their offense is just so unrelenting at times. And St. Clair, while they do have decent defense, I feel like somewhere they've definitely struggled a lot more with is controlling the midfield. It hasn't been exactly like past seasons, and I think you've recognized that as well, Evan. It definitely feels like sometimes they're not in as much control as they used to be. Jazzy, right now, trying to find a reset over 1. If you can lock in and get down on this metric, though, I can tell you right now, they are one of the best teams collegiately. I know they have it in them. They just got to show it tonight.
Well, I mean, no better time to show it than now. And when you're talking about control, it's just that Fisher, they're just able to read what St. Clair is doing so efficiently. It's like every time that you see St. Clair maybe going up, you know, for an aerial play or trying to set up a 50, there's always somebody from Fisher that's able to rotate in and find a way to disrupt it. There's just always somebody who's calming or just somebody on this rotation to make sure that St. Clair can't get anything going. And not saying those 2 goals that St. Clair had in Game 1 were, you know, a little bit of a fluke, but the one from Sai you can maybe argue was a little bit of a gimme, you know, based on how that happens, but
I think that goes to speak about the chemistry that Fisher has as well.
Yeah.
Like, they don't let a lot of these opportunities creep by. This is a great play, at least from Royales, to try to see if he can find the demo. It was not to be. Instead, he's going to be the one being exploded. Shot's still ringing in, though, and Fisher, they're playing it so much faster right now than St. Clair when it comes to getting to the ball. Just as he's on 10 boost right now, but it doesn't matter. He's cutting the rotation. He's trying to extend a play for Royales. Ground pinch doesn't go his way. But, I mean, look at this. We're just simply jumping at anything right now to create an opportunity to our team, even if it is, by our standards, low quality. Eventually, they're hoping that St. Clair are going to panic. Some 50s go down from Zai. Vesh can try to finish, but the bumps, they're there. Jazzy eventually finishes what is an extremely messy play. And Fisher, it took getting through all of their forces, but one by one, St. Clair, they broke out this wall.
Sometimes maybe you just have to get a little messy to find a way through, and I think that's how they got it done. You just make Fisher a little bit uncomfortable on defense. You're able to rotate in a striker and find a way to finally break through this defense. St. Clair, they're looking to maybe add on a couple more here. Sai with a shot that does not land, but Fisher now back in control, and this is definitely going to be an interesting time because we saw in the previous series how quickly Fisher can respond after they get scored on. So this is a very critical time for St. Clair here to just keep this momentum in their control and not let Fisher find a way to sneak back into this game.
I mean, how many times have we seen teams played against St. Clair this semester who have just such a quick idea of how to counterpunch, right? I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it's been something we've been saying all semester. And there it is again. Royales off the rotation. Again, another catch. It's really messing with St. Clair here. The high-low combination is going to work out. Has one under Zai. He's going to be able to find the flick as well. I mean, these plays that Royale is creating through this ball control that he has, it really is a gift, and it's showing that it keeps giving for Fisher College.
Yeah, he's absolutely been that guy. Look at this now. St. Clair already trying to get out to a hot start in this next possession, but it's another breakup from the side of Fisher to shut this down. Vesh trying to stay in control of the ball, but just will not go his way as Jazzy forced to go back on defense, sending the ball up himself. He's going to be able to clear it, but Fisher, once again, are right there in midfield to make it just a little bit harder for St. Clair to get anything set. Right back into control of Vesh. Royales just narrowly missing, and Vesh with the follow-up. Another missed opportunity for St. Clair as it gets cleared right back into their own end.
Well, it was a good job from the defense of Fisher. Vesh unfortunately couldn't find the dunk. Jazzy trying to force towards the middle right now, but Zai, he definitely is the one that you got to watch here. He's going to make this rotation wide, and well done from him, although this one dropping into the middle. Royale tries to delay the flick. Ivan up top can't really get the redirect to go center, and now Just Who's is going to have to back up, try to buy time for Royale so he can take this one up the back wall. A fake on the Musty, and it's actually going to be able to get him underneath. Royale's is just putting on a clinic right now with ground play and control. Taking the 50 as well, it's definitely making St. Clair play a little more awkward.
And you can see it's because of the pace that Royales is playing at, but that's a good pace to be playing at right there, Vesh. Look at this. I mean, almost coast to coast this play goes. Nice pass, nice drop down from side, top corner. Although I will say, in game one, wasn't this the same exact thing that happened? St. Clair scoring with about 44 seconds left to take a 2-1 lead. You hope history doesn't repeat itself, but you know Fisher, you know they're going to be pressing in these last couple seconds here.
They are. Ceiling pinch, and the demo already goes downfield, so you got to think right now, Evan, you're stuck in between a bit of a rock and a hard place. You got to try to drive yourself out of it. Justus, good save on the back wall, showing composure. Zai just trying to force the play out wide as Royales is going to get a demo. Zai showing no threat, keeping composure here as Ivan over him. Should get a reset on this. Pops it and has some good pace on it. The 50, it's wide open. It's a great opportunity given to Fisher from Ivan. Really well done. And who else but Royales to finish?
And what did I say, Patrick? I mean, you know that this pace is going to be turned up for Fisher. Jazzy sort of left on an island by himself, can't do anything, and I think this one going to need OT again. Clearly, goals are going to be a premium in this series. St. Clair, though, does have a chance to maybe add another one, but who else but Royales to save it for Fisher. OT for game 2. Both of these teams going to need the distance for a lot of the series tonight. And look at this, Fisher already in St. Clair's end. They're going to get back control of it as St. Clair, but once again, Fisher are just not relenting in their attack right now.
They definitely aren't. Right now, everyone from Fisher on this attack is definitely contributing to this role. I know we haven't really been saying Just Who's name a whole lot. Why don't we start talking about it right now? Shot
close,
just barely off the crossbar. Ivan going to be taking at least a centering attempt. Royale's one up, but he's going to have to reposition to the sidewall. He knows he's beat Vesh downfield on 0, trying to force the fake, goes through Zai. He's got to create time right now for Vesh to rotate, and he's done well enough in that facet. Royales with the carry downfield. Vesh trying to chow out, but he gets the 100 boost robbed from him, and now all of a sudden, a shot that could have been going by the wayside, but St. Clair in a 2v1 on a fast break. The demo goes out. This one should be all she wrote, and it definitely is. Fisher, they take the first, but St. Clair, they answer right back.
And much needed is that win for St. Clair, and like you said, great on a fast break, just taking that Fisher playbook of ultra aggression and really turning it on their heads. Jazzy with 2 goals in this game, definitely the hero of game number 2 to keep St. Clair afloat. Because I think going down 2-0 in a series where, like we said, goals are definitely going to be a premium. These are most likely going to be low-scoring games. You cannot afford to go down that early. So that prediction at 4, you know, might still be on the table because we're gonna need at least a 4th game for this one. But
oh, brother, I said at minimum 4. I'm sorry. I don't think, like, I'm genuinely, like, thinking here. I do not, I'm realizing right now, think that any of these series are going to be done within anything less than 5. I don't see, if there is something that happens, but maybe in the second series against Maryville, it would have to be from fatigue. Because these are going to be 2 barn burner series that we have right now. Game number 3. Series drawn all up in 1-1, and St. Clair, they aren't wasting any time finding the score sheet. James, off of a beautiful air dribble bump from Zai, gonna be able to strike first.
Hey, I mean, this is what you want to see from Jazzy. Start stepping up, somebody stepping up and making a big play early, and that's exactly what's happened in St. Clair. It's the first time where they can really start to play with the lead for a majority of this game if they can shut down Fisher at the early onset here. Is St. Clair back on the attack already? Ivan is going to try and redirect that to clear it, and that is going to go through since that little assist from Royale is going to connect as he's trying to take it up the wing, but St. Clair starting to lock down a little bit on this defense here. If they can just shut down these fast breaks and aggressive plays from Fisher, they're definitely going to have a really solid opportunity at finding a victory in this critical third game. You just have to make sure you can stay consistent the entire time.
Yeah, again, I think that Fisher, though, when it comes to putting on the pressure, there's no team right now that does it better than them. They play so fast offensively, and it's definitely been showing. The first man is completely clearing out St. Clair's defensive line. 2 demos just happened. Ivan found a bump on Vesh. St. Clair, they are in the thick of it right now.
Definitely. Ooh, that's a nice fake from Royales, but he's not able to capitalize on it.
A
but
boost timer.
Just trying to make sure he can starve St. Clair again. A boost and another whiff for Fisher, but
so
you can just tell the pressure is still there. And like you said, that awkwardness that they create, it's only a matter of time before they strike.
Their pressure is just so suffocating. I mean, that's the umpteenth time, I want to say now, where I've seen Fisher just making St. Clair's defense an absolute living hell.
Yeah.
And it must be so annoying to play against. And that is perfect for what Fisher want, because that's not only just going to mess with you in game, that's going to mess with the mental as well. And hey, Fisher, you know what? If it works against us, keep doing it. This one, I believe, actually going to be a little more of an own goal, I'm pretty sure. Ivan, he was just trying to put in a center. Yeah, I was going to say, unfortunately, I think Zai was up, yeah. And that's just tough. Mentally chalking as well. 3:22, and you're down by 1.
And those types of mistakes you just can't make in a series like this. And unfortunately, you've sort of given Fisher an avenue to really start to continue to put on that pressure. I think this is the first time they've really played with a lead in this series, all things considered. So it's scary to think what they can do when they're the ones that are in control, but St. Clair still has a lot of time to make something happen as Sai wins that duel in the midfield. But once again, Fisher able to take control and make space in St. Clair's end, but Sai able to get back. It looks like Fisher might have an opportunity to set another play up because they are just continuing to push everything right now, and St. Clair having to play very reactive, and they're going to have to react to that one because they are down 2 in this third game. Justice with a great solo effort, sneaking past both Vesh and Jazzy. If you're St. Clair now, you don't want to start panicking, but it's definitely getting a little bit dire in this game 3.
Hey, I told you, man, these are going to be hard games no matter how you put it. When you got 2 teams in the top 4 from CRL, this is no joke. RLCS-wise, all of these players have definitely been hitting their stride as well, so you know they're locked in for one thing, Evan. Now, St. Clair, they're going to see if they can try to do the same. Safety net of 2 that they have to try to break through, but if it's any team that can do it, St. Clair have definitely risen to the occasion before. It's just the bumps, the fakes, the demos that Fisher are putting out. They are they're working so well for them. St. Clair, they just need to try to find a way to adapt, but it just seems like they can't right now, Ev.
Yeah, I don't doubt St. Clair's ability to find a potential comeback. It's just Fisher, it's like, what can you do against a team that is just so suffocating on both sides of the ball, and all of this pressure they're putting on you to just neutralize any play you're throwing at them. It's just, you mentioned mental chalk. I mean, it's frustrating to have to play a team that operates like that and just, is so disruptive. And I mean, it's another example right there as Jazzy trying to take it up the wing, but 2 members of Fisher meet him on the wing and send it right back into St. Clair's end. Just when you think they have a play get set up, it gets ruined just like that. You can't even generate any offense if you're St. Clair. With 1:20 left to go, down 2, like, you needed another goal, like, 2 minutes ago at this point.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, don't get me wrong, it can still happen, but I think right now the problem is, like, Fisher, the rotation's too clean. And it's because St. Clair, they don't have the boost coming out of their own side on defense because of all these bumps and everything to generate and force a play downfield to try to get Fisher to budge. They can't right now. They don't have the numbers. Royale's finally going to be demoed out, but at the same time, St. Clair, it's Jazzy. He's low on boost. He needs to try to force a play up right now for Vesh. A pass. Zai has the pre-jump. It's slotted low. And St. Clair, they have generated an answer. Fisher gave them too much time to cook.
Well, if Fisher are going to be putting pressure on you like that, what's the best way to counter that? Is set up these booming clears and these plays downfield to maybe try and find a way through. And that's exactly what happens there. Sai getting it done, and look at that again. 45 seconds left to go. This is what, the third game in the row where something has happened that close to the end. We'll see if St. Clair can get it to go through.
Beautiful.
Am I prophetic or what?
Beautiful. 36 seconds right off the kickoff. Vesh is going to have the reset. It's over one. Zai, you can't place him any better than this. When his shooting is on point, he is one of the best strikers in Rocket League. And he's showing it right now. St. Clair, they needed it, but a pair of goals, they're going to be able to be found. A reset, a carry, almost a team pinch, but Justu's just barely going to get across. But here's the problem now. This pace of play, it's really fast. St. Clair, they're having to stretch members with low boost on defense to try to find clears. Zai, he's got to burn some time, but a Doomsy dish, the pass in field, but no one's there in the middle. St. Clair, a shot, it's ripped, and from out of nowhere, Jazzy is the answer to St. Clair's prayers.
What an effort from St. Clair. You're down 2 with like a minute left to go, and you find 3 within a minute to go. I mean, what resilience being shown from the St. Clair team. Now, obviously, it is not over until it's over, and I mean, that has sort of been the mentality with this Fisher team, because they legitimately almost tied it right there. But St. Clair somehow are not out of it yet. They find the 2-1 lead in this series, and I mean, what a way to finish Game 3. You needed it, and you got it.
I mean, legacy moment right there for Jazzy, but you have to move past it, right? You've done good, James, and now you can look at taking this one in for St. Clair. They respond with 2 on the bounce to Fisher's initial OT win. But man, this has been nothing short of an absolute close range brawl fest from both of these guys. I mean, this is just 2 heavyweights standing off. No one's guarding right now. They're just throwing haymakers.
And Patrick, I mean, remember, we have another series after this too against another really good team. So I hope you're enjoying this one, folks, because we have another good one coming up right after this one is over. But we'll stay locked in on game number 4 right now. St. Clair up 2-1 in the series. Let's see if they can punch the dagger right here.
And the bump attempt almost from Jazzy. Would have been good to allow Vesh to have the shot here as Zai working in low in the corner. Almost coming out from St. Clair. And this is good. This long stint of offense. It eventually benefits St. Clair. Veshi's going to have the beat on Royales. Cuts through, finds a nice angle. St. Clair, within 30 seconds, they find their first.
It just seems like something has clicked now. A switch has been flipped for this team. They are playing so much better than what we've seen previously in this series, and they're starting to play a little bit like Fisher was in the onset. Now, obviously, still a lot of time left, and you know Fisher is definitely the type of team where it seems like you could be up by 4 and you're not really comfortable with the lead at that point. You have to be locked in the entirety of those 5 minutes, and St. Clair, they're starting to lock in a little bit right now. You can see that they're starting to adapt to this pressure that Fisher is putting on them. They're starting to find the holes and the ways to turn that on Fisher, and now they're starting to generate some quality offensive possessions in Fisher's end. They just have to make sure they can keep it up, but also rotate back on defense efficiently.
Yeah. Now, Fisher, they need to try to see if they can do something downfield to mess with St. Clair. They definitely haven't been strangers to being able to create those gaps. St. Clair going to try to respond to this offense as this one booted up high. Vesh able to have 1 touch, but he's going to get called off. Zai, the double tap. It's looming 9 times out of 10. You could even say 10 times out of 10. Zai puts that on target. But all of a sudden, Schrodinger's double tap comes through, and this time it isn't successful.
Man, I hate when that happens. But you just have to move on. Like you said, you cannot afford to get hung up about missed opportunities. You just have to go next. And they're looking to find their next opportunity. Sai already in the thick of it. Vesh up in the air, trying to get it in. And Jazzy, ooh, almost had it. But a big save coming through from Royales, excuse me. He's been that guy for Fisher all night on offense and defense. He is their star. But St. Clair not dead yet, though. He's going to get cleared out. But St. Clair try their best to clear this. Fisher now, they look to strike.
St. Clair, you just got to watch out because Royals and company on offense, I mean, they really have felt ubiquitous. They are quite literally everywhere. And now they're going to try to see if they can keep messing with St. Clair. They're cut on rotation. Ivan, he has a very important job of causing a couple of 50s here to buy the other two members of Fisher time to rotate and get into good positioning. But Zai off the ceiling, he might not care. He's looking for the double tap as well off the transfer, but it was not to be. This beat over from Vesh. He's down through 2. The flick, it's high, but again,
just
Fisher,
have anybody.
They've got good rotation. And they're doing good in terms of forcing for their teammates to make plays.
Just nobody home to help Vesh there. Look at this. He's looking, but just narrowly missing the ball. St. Clair almost fine too, but still left at 1 goal. And now it's Fisher's time to find some offense. It's Ivan going to send this one into the corner, but Jassy is going to meet it past 2 Fisher members, sending it right back up in the air. Vesh still can't get this clear. Fisher remain in control. But great job from St. Clair on defense to shut that possession down, but Fisher right back in as Justice. Again, in this corner, St. Clair, they've done a much better job finding these rotations, but again, you can just feel like Fisher is making you awkward. Another missed shot, but you know more opportunities are plentiful, and they're going to have to turn this pace up. 1:10 left to go. Fisher, they're looking to find it.
And it's going to be a really long stunt of defense if this keeps up. The last shot attempt came through because of a St. Clair double commit. And, you know, again, once you stay in that end for so long, eventually things will slip through the cracks. St. Clair, they got to try to continue to lock in right now. 1 minute left to go. A possible redirect from Ivan. This one met by Vesh is now the clear going to come through. Vesh trying to force one out to Zai. He's going to try to take as much time. You don't have a shooter downfield, or maybe you do. Vesh coming off the rotation said, you know what, why not me? Let me try to go for a little bit of a redirect. Fisher off the ceiling. Who's going to be first to it? Just who's. But now they've left the net completely open, and all Zai has to do is keep his composure. Safety net of 2 with 29 seconds left to go. St. Clair, they've all but done it. They have to keep their composure, though. With 30 seconds left, if it's any team that can come back with this amount of time remaining, we know it's Fisher College.
And that's still a lot of time, all things considered, for Rocket League. Like you said, you cannot become complacent or take your foot off the gas pedal. You need to find these clears, and you need to find them now. Vesh is going to get things started, wasting a lot of time bringing it over into this other side of Fisher's end side, dribbling it up. He's looking to maybe add another one, but another slow roller goes awry. 10 seconds left to go. St. Clair looking very, very solid at the end of this here. I don't think Fisher has enough time to get to a redirect coming through from St. Clair. Once this one hits the ground, it's going to be over. St. Clair, off the back of an insane comeback in Game 3, defeat Fisher College in 4 games. Quite the statement to start this doubleheader tonight.
Light little gentleman's sweep.
We'll take that.
For your taste. Hey, you know what, St. Clair? It's an amazing game and a great series showing that, hey, you know what? At the pecking order of the food chain, this school can still compete with the best of them. As we've thought they've been able to throughout the semester. It's just these games, these ones that you've had against Northwood and Winthrop, they've kept people, me included, guessing. We saw them recently, obviously, defeat Winthrop to qual for Naceland in Orlando, right? And that was a good start, obviously. And now that they've taken down Fisher, I'm kind of thinking to myself, you know what? These guys, they might have found the rhythm that they've been looking for.
Well, clearly something clicked. Again, it was maybe the last minute 10 of Game 3. I mean, we were sort of sitting here, and it was looking pretty dire. I mean, you're down 2 right near the end of Game 3. I mean, that's a game you absolutely needed to find a way to get back in the series. I think if Fisher wins that 3rd game, I think they probably come out on the other end of the series. Maybe not in Game 4, but maybe if that goes to 5, I mean, who knows what could have happened if we went an extra game. But clearly something flipped. The mentality shifted for St. Clair. They found a way to get it done. But again, like we said, it's not over yet. That was the appetizer. The main course still to come. Maryville looming coming up next. We're going on break. When we come back, we'll prep for Series 2.
Could be terrible. Could be great. We will not control it.
You felt like home to me, and this all felt real, truly. And you felt like home to me, and this all felt real, truly. To me.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and I think we all know what time it is. A fated moment this semester. We got Rocket League CRL against Maryville. I am Patrick Smoke Chambers, joined by Evan, not really Evan Johnson, and this is going to be a very interesting matchup.
Yeah, we've been waiting a long time for this one. I think there's a lot that can be said about the emotional stakes that go into a game like this. Not even just playing for standings in CRL. I think there's a little bit more on the line, and I think those of you in the know definitely know what we're referring to. We sort of alluded to it at the start of the show, but, first time that these teams play against each other after, Maryville acquiring some talent in the offseason with Arju and Shuffle transferring over to their program, and we're going to get to see these two teams finally face off against each other.
Yeah, and I've been waiting for it all semester. I truly am hyped to go, and I got to keep myself calm and composed because the second we get into that game, it's going to be insane. And now when you look at these guys and what they've just accomplished prior tonight, they're able to down Fisher in 4, that roster of Royales, Justus, and also Ivan as well. Again, RLCS top 12 recently talent with Royales and Justus. Ivan from Southampton Academy as well, teaming with Velocity. These guys have been doing great so far this year. You go to Maryville, the number one thing that I kind of realize here is, Ev, I don't exactly know what to genuinely expect from them. This team, Maryville, is all over the place. I think that, again, I talked about it earlier, these guys do not play with each other in RLCS minus Speed and Shuffle, who are on a team called the Immigrants, if you do not know, with Hazo and Creams. They just, made top 16 in Open 5, and they made top 12 in the Open 4, right? Relating Wave on Strictly Business. We know that team with Crispy and Aqua, and then obviously Arju, Ario on No Dope with Knight and CMOS, who were able to get a top 12 in Open 5. Following up was a way better result than what they got in Open 4, where these guys didn't even make top 16, which I believe is the first time, if I'm not being incorrect, that Arju has missed out on a top 16 for, I want to say, maybe that's the first time in, I think, a year? I might be wrong about that, but I want to say that while he was here, there weren't many times where he missed out on main stage. So, again, had to bounce back from that Open 4 result, found some good results in Open 5. But now, the number one thing that I think about is how does that translate, obviously, into CRL when you guys have to now band together and play with each other again?
Yeah, it definitely is going to be a question mark coming in, but I think still, despite that, Maryville has such a, you hate, use this word, they have like an aura to them, right? Like, we know exactly what these guys are capable of. There's a reason why they're always in the conversation for elite teams when it comes to collegiate Rocket League. There's a reason they're always near the top, and I think just because of that, there's still a team that deserves to be feared and should be feared, I think, by anybody. But I think if St. Clair can defeat them, I think it definitely is very possible. You sort of get off to a good start. You take down Fisher. You get that monkey off your back, of taking out an elite team and in the top of CRL, and you have another tough opponent on you in the next one. And we did kind of mention it before, is that at least you do have a little bit of an insight about how Arju's game is, right? So if you can sort of game plan around that, you know what to expect. You might be able to find success. But at the other side, like we said, Maryville also would have that intel on Jazzy and Sai, right? So it does kind of go both ways, but at least both teams will have some idea of how they want to game plan around the other.
It's Battle of the Brains as well, right? There's no one who knows Yusuf better than Luca, than Shuffle. And so, again, when you make that comparison of two coaches that work together and now they're butting heads with each other in CRL as of right now, there are definitely some interesting narratives that you could write up. The most interesting narrative that I'm going to write up, and a very hot take that I'm about to put out there, I don't actually know if in CRL Maryville's really all that. Now, hear me out when I say this. 9-3, obviously they're in second place right now. But I'm about to kind of, in hindsight, drop a few results here, right? Concord forced them to 5. Concord are right now 3-7 in the league, and they haven't been playing all that well, just as base fact. They get forced to 5 by Concord. They get forced to 5 by Syracuse as well. Again, a team that's kind of been underperforming for their standards. They lose to Indiana Tech in 5. They lose to Davenport in 5. And then they also lose to Northwood in 4, obviously. Now, sure, we also lost to Northwood in 5, but, there's something there. The reason why this team is so unpredictable, though, is because we go from those weird results to then just beating Winthrop in 4. Like, that's unreal. And that really, to me, means that it's so hard to predict what these guys are going to look like out of the gate. We bumped into Jazzy while we were filling up our water, and he said he feels that tonight someone's either going to sweep or get swept. But you got to put your money where your mouth is, and the time is now.
Well, there's no more speculating that we can do anymore because it is here and it is time. Both of these teams fighting to secure a top finish near the end of CRL. St. Clair already off to a good start in this doubleheader and looking to continue off of the highs they found at the end of this Fisher series. So we're already trading some booming clears. As Arju intercepting for Maryville. Jazzy, he's trying to find where this ball is going to go. Maryville on the attack first, but Jazzy making the first big save of the night.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong. I get that I was making some crazy statement there if you're taking it as black and white as that, but again, at the end of the day, Maryville at 9-3, all 3 of these guys, they know what it takes to compete at a top level and what it takes to find the win. You got to make sure that you keep tabs on all 3. But now, Vesh trying to get this one downfield. It's going to be Relating Wave waiting on the sidewall to see if he gets his name called. Speed going to try to force a 50 for him as Zai going to be there to chow off the side, using the foot to try to get a centering pass, but it's too slow, and Vesh is waiting right by the near post to clear out.
St. Clair playing very, very patient to start and really trying to make sure this defense is super locked in. Maryville already with a couple of attempts, but St. Clair has been on the outset. They've been ready for these attacks, and they're going to try and send one out, but Relating Wave is going to clear this one out, but not before Sai intercepts. Sending it right back up the side. Speed, not enough boost to make a play, but does not matter as Maryville gets the clear. Vesh with the miss, and now they get a chance to attack, but St. Clair cleared out before they could get there.
You know what? It really sucks because there is so much tension right now.
You can feel it.
You definitely can think that Maryville, they're going to work off of that and strike first. Even off of that, right? The pace of play that we just got out of from Fisher, so much slower, right? This team of Maryville, so much more methodical in their play style, right? And they want to really look for little overextensions and mistakes that St. Clair are making on rotation. That time, the third man cheating up a little too far. Maryville, they're able to be successful. Arju, the reset, he's going to force the low 50, and I'm telling you right now, you know what? If Maryville come out the gate clicking like this, we might have a quicker series than we intentionally thought here, Ev.
Well, there's nobody better at aerial juggling than Arjun. I mean, we got a great look at that, obviously, all of last semester. This guy is just a magician when it comes to manipulating the ball in the air. And you can see, even on an attempt that didn't really look super solid, he's able to find his own bounce and get the goal to go. And St. Clair, they try and emulate that, but just not going to happen. 2 Saints coming up short. Maryville, they came out a little bit slow, and that's what St. Clair was trying to match, but they just struck very, very quickly with 2. Now St. Clair forced to play from behind, but we know what they can do when they've been down. We saw that they've been able to make big comebacks in this set of series tonight. That didn't happen too long ago, so I still am not counting St. Clair out of it yet, but I need to see more chances in Maryville's end before I start putting more stock in that.
To me, the other problem is as well that all 3 of these players, the solo play capability that they each possess, can completely burn all the time and positioning that they want. The possession numbers for Maryville can sometimes be insane, and I think the change of pace that they exhibit as well is what really makes them dangerous and strikes fear into the hearts of a lot of these teams. I mean, they look like they play so slow, but they know when to really turn it up. Relating Wave, he's going to pick his spot, and he never misses those opportunities.
It's definitely hard to miss when you're just given such a gimme like that, and great pass as well. I mean, you don't want to say it was a little bit of a fake, but just a nice spread out shot, and that's the offense spread out for Maryville. That's 1 goal from each of the 3 members of this Maryville team, so they're humming on all cylinders early, everybody getting active, St. Clair already down 3. I think this might be a little bit of a wash for the first game, and definitely a bit of a slap in the face to St. Clair. Hopefully they can wake up as we continue on in this series.
It is, and don't get me wrong. Like, again, I think that, you know, when it comes to Maryville, obviously, I talked about it earlier, they beat Winthrop in 4 as well. So this is definitely one where, yeah, if they're not sleeping at the wheel, they can definitely get this done in a sweeping fashion as well. Maryville, they're looking quite dominant already, and kudos to them because they just have the Saints kind of guessing right now. Ceiling pinch, and it's going to go the wrong way, though. Zai with a quick shot on net, but Ario there for the save. Arju looking to just see if he can extend the play a little bit more as Speed demoing one out. Relating wave, the musty attempt. It's going to just barely miss off the hood of the car, though, when he can't get quite the roll he wanted. But up by 3 with 50 seconds left, it's going to take nothing short of a miracle to down a team like Maryville in Game 1.
And you can just see that even despite the fact that they're up 3-0, you're still pressing and just shutting down every opportunity that St. Clair has tried to get going. I mean, this is an absolute statement, I think, in the first one. You talk about how many emotions are going into this game for the side of St. Clair. Again, that's a two-way street. I'm sure Shuffle and Arju are feeling the exact same way coming into this series. They want something here. They have something to prove as well against the Saints team, and they've definitely come out with a big statement in game number 1. 5-0 in game 1 in this series. Definitely making sure that this Maryville side is definitely up to snuff.
And that's the number one thing I was interested about, was knowing about what's been going on in RLCS. How do these guys come together and play against us in CRL? And right now, I'm telling you, this is the most calm and composed team I think I've ever witnessed so far this semester. These guys have been absolutely not been playing down at all to any competition. I mean, right now, they have come through, punched St. Clair straight in the mouth, and said, we're better than you, catch up. St. Clair, they're going to have to look to do that. Jazz is going to at least be able to get one off of momentum. But then again, look, I can make all the statements I want about maybe how Maryville have had some series go the other way that shouldn't really have happened, right? At the end of the day, it's also very dangerous to doubt a player like Arju and a coach like Shuffle. We know what they're capable of. We know what Relating Wave and Speed are capable of. Arju with a good pass. And if I could tell you how many times I've said that for the amount of time that he's been here at St. Clair, I would lose count.
Yeah, he's just at the top of his game, really, right now. He is one of the best talents in the Collegiate Rocket League scene right now. And like you said, St. Clair, they're having to play catch-up, and they've already lagged behind a lot to start this series. They are going to need some serious soul-searching from Thermal Rex to right the ship a little bit, but at least they're still fighting. They're still able to get some goals, but I think it's just, you don't want to say it's a little bit of a formality, but it doesn't really mean much in the overall scheme of this first game. Maryville will win this first one. And for St. Clair, like we said, you just need to sort of reset. You did lose the first one against Fisher and were able to bounce back in game 2, but with the way Maryville's been playing, you can just tell that there's just a difference in the way they're approaching the series right now. You mentioned the word composed. That's what it looks like. It's composure, but it's accuracy and precision. That's how they're executing on everything right now.
And, you know, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little bit surprised. It's good to see smiles across the desk right now from St. Clair, because knowing Jazzy and Zion them, the number one thing that I would have actually expected was for them to be a little bit angry, but almost in a good way. Like, I don't think these guys are a team that, like, mentally just crumbles and then they just stop calming or whatever. But at the same time, you know, you don't want them to get tilted, but to have a little bit of anger, to play with a little bit of fire, chip on the shoulder, some may say, hey, you know what? At the end of the day, these three can turn that into something good and make sure that they can keep themselves on level. So now in game number 2, you've hit the reset. Score, albeit 6-2, was a little bit of a wash, like you said, Ev, but now a new game. I will say, Maryville, they've got them awkward to start off. Zai with a nice save. Going to have to take his time here on the dribble. Nice 50 to try to get forced out, but Arju gets the most of it. Clean redirect forces 2 players from St. Clair up, but the distance from the clear is pretty decent.
You know that St. Clair can definitely be exposed if you make them a little bit awkward here, so great that they were able to shut down that early aggression, but Maryville is just not letting up in this first possession. You can tell that the game plan right now is just take control away from St. Clair. They want to control as much time of possession as they can to make sure St. Clair can't get anything rolling. We did see a little bit of a spark for St. Clair at the end of this first game, but you know that Maryville is waiting, and that's 2 attempts going the wayside for the Saints in red. The Saints in green, meanwhile, coming out onto the other end. No shot really connecting for Vesh, but Jazzy trying to keep it alive before Maryville intercept.
Relating Wave did such a good job of avoiding that bump that St. Clair was trying to put out on him, and to then be able to clear as well. It's great defensive awareness from him. And Maryville now trying to get out of their orange side as Zai chases downfield, playing into the corner. This one lobs back up, and Vesh, unfortunately, can't really get there first. Jazzy cuts him off and tries to pop up. Zai with boost now. Low 50s, can have another one, maybe off the ceiling, but it's going to be Maryville to get there first. Jazzy trying to play for the redirect off his own backboard. This can set up Zai now, who has time. Speed waiting in the wing. The fake to come out. Vesh trying to run interference, but Speed, ice in his veins, keeps composed.
You just tell that both these teams, you know that something is going to break this tension. You just can't stay complacent for too long if you're St. Clair. Arju,
wow, what a 50.
Sets it up for Speed, and he finishes it off quickly. I mean, we talked about how good this guy is with these aerial moves, and he sets it up perfectly for Speed. Jazzy just not able to get it out in time, and a quick strike from Speed gives Maryville the lead.
You know, and if Jazzy was saying, hey, you know, this is either going to go one of two ways. We're going to sweep or they're going to get swept. It's not looking real good right now if you're St. Clair, because you're already down by 1, and if we're following the signs of your statement right there, James, that means that this is going to continue. St. Clair, they have to try to find a way into it. The double, it's online from Zai, but Arju with the save. We know he's very capable of being a stalwart defender, has been it his entirety of the time he was here with us. Relating Wave now off the sidewall, trying to see if they can maybe open this game up, provide Maryville with a safety net. Arju with a fake down low. Zai keeps composure, but Relating Wave off to the side of Speed right now. He's going to try to pass it on out. But these touches right now from Maryville, it's almost like they're trying to bait St. Clair in to try to get a reaction out of them. And once they have what they want, then they can create a gap.
Well, we saw how successful that was in game number 1. I mean, it's hard to score 6 goals against the St. Clair green team. I mean, it's very rare that ends up happening, but Maryville make it look so easy.
Yeah.
And they just continue to dominate in this one, still dominating in terms of possession. I mean, that's another shot that very well could have gotten a second one as well, getting denied post-playing the 4th man for St. Clair right there, but they are just unrelenting. Maryville still trying to find the second goal cushion. St. Clair are able to clear it outside with a chance to maybe find the ball. It's home, but not going to happen. This Maryville defense has been just as good as their offense thus far. St. Clair coming up short once again, and not too much long till it's over, but Vesh might make this game go on a little bit longer as something finally breaking through for St. Clair right near the end.
Man, and they needed that so bad. Vesh, a beautiful shot. You can't place him much better than that. And you've given St. Clair the equalizer, a minute 25 left to go. But I have to say, Ev, you can immediately tell, right? Maryville, they've turned it up a notch. They're definitely playing at 100% capacity right now, and it really just begs the question, how do you get some of these results from earlier in the season that I've mentioned? I mean, it just doesn't really make sense, but that's the weird, mysterious thing that I find really enticing about Maryville. Right now, St. Clair, they have to see if they can solve the Da Vinci Code that is figuring out this Maryville side. That was a really close shave. Speed, he's at least going to get the boost steal. But right now, St. Clair, they're treading on deep waters right now.
Yeah, and standing on very thin ice, because you can't make that many mistakes and get away with them against this Maryville team, because they will make you pay. And you knew it was only going to be a matter of time. Speed coming to fly in and find the go-ahead goal for Maryville with, once again, about 45 seconds left to go in a game. So, not saying that it's impossible for St. Clair to come back, but we've seen some strange things tonight happen. Can we get another miracle coming through for St. Clair in the final seconds of Game 2?
Well, this reset, it's
my God.
well
I
on
thought
target.
it was going to happen again.
You think maybe, but Arju sitting back He's going to have this cut as well to make this offense so much more lethal for Maryville. Speed trying to get this one around the side. Arju bangs this one back forward, and they're trying to burn time right now. 10 seconds left to go. St. Clair, they got to try to force an issue. A pop from Vesh. Relating wave. He cuts it off. It's got to be a St. Clair player to it first, and it simply just isn't. Play the low 50s. This one's going to be grounded. Maryville making a statement in this series. 2-0. And wow, St. Clair, they just look really uncomfortable.
Playing from behind and playing very reactively is what's been happening. They just can't seem to, like you said, get comfortable and get anything going. They just have to play off the pace that Maryville is operating at. And like you said, a bit of a statement. At least this one was a little bit closer than game number one. They still had a chance to maybe force OT, and if that happens, who knows how the rest of the series is going to go. But if you're St. Clair, your backs are against the wall, and look at this, Maryville already pushing. That's twice denied. St. Clair somehow keep this one not at a 0, but Maryville not relenting or letting up from where they ended this one. They want to end this in a sweep.
Yeah, I mean, albeit St. Clair, they're going to have to reverse sweep if they want to get this one done. And we talked about it earlier. 1-1 on tonight would place you 7-3, but I know these guys, they don't want to settle for that. It's just sweeping Maryville now is such a tall task going forwards. It's really hard to say, Ev. I never want to count these guys out, but this would be insane if St. Clair could pull this one through.
Would absolutely be a signature win for this new look St. Clair team. And you're right, I'm always a pretty stalwart believer in the boys, but this is definitely a very, very tough task for this team. But won't get down in the dumps for too much because there's still at least 3:55 left of this game, and that's a great redirect from Vesh to deny relating wave, but Maryville still on the attack. Archie trying to find it, but getting cleared out from St. Clair a little bit too quick for the Italian striker, as now St. Clair trying to capitalize, but a little bit more awkwardness, forcing the ball right back into their end.
Yeah, and this shot's going to be online too. Speed's going to cut this one through, and St. Clair, they're not going to have anyone back in position to keep this one going. And man, you know what? I really have to say, kudos to Maryville right now. They just, I don't even know how to say it. Like, their positioning has just been so good. And they don't even need to play as fast as a team like Fisher. Their pacing is so well done, and it's almost like watching like art in a way.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to glaze too hard, but it really is what you're watching. And Vesh and company right now, they are simply doing nothing other than being the canvas. They need to try to break out, though, and forge a painting of their own. Arju, though, a reset off the back wall, going to try to see if he can get this one centered back out. Vesh playing with a little more intensity off of the ceiling, and I think St. Clair, they need to try to do that right now and switch up the tempo on the people who have set the tempo themselves for this series in Maryville.
Yeah, it's not just Vesh that needs to play with intensity, it's everybody on the St. Clair team. We need to start turning it up right now, boys. You cannot let this happen. You gotta find something to bring yourselves back in and just light a fire under you to get yourselves going. But again, like we said, Maryville has just been in such solid control this entire time. St. Clair, they've just been looking very awkward and uncomfortable this whole series. Still some time left, though, about halfway until we get to the end. Potentially, Vesh trying to take it himself. Another dunk attempt, not going the way of St. Clair, but Sai gonna fly in, help his teammate out, and equalize.
Yeah, and again, Maryville, obviously the Vesh double doesn't go through, and it was almost great, but hey, you're not out of the thick of the woods yet. Sai with a great follow-up attempt. Clinical as ever, going to be able to equalize with Maryville. And again, it just seems like I don't really know what to expect for the rest of this 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Vesh going to try to see if you can create a little bit. The bump would have been huge onto Arju there, but he's good in making sure he can avoid that. Jazzy try to center this one back out. Fast clear from Maryville, though, has Sai wave dashing to try to recover, but a little bit of an errand miss, and we'll see if St. Clair are going to be paying for that later. A centering ball, the shot not coming through. St. Clair, they just got to keep their composure about them, but Vesh looking at an attempt that probably should have been his. Speed saves it out and keep things even at 1-all.
Well, he's showing his speed and how fast he was able to get back on that one. Like you said, that probably should have gone in for Vesh. That should have been the St. Clair lead coming through, the first lead that would come through in this series, but just not meant to be, as Vesh still hanging out in this Maryville zone is going to deny them that full boost at least. So Arju on 0 is going to recover, but St. Clair do have a potential opportunity to make something happen. This clear comes through, though. They're going to have to work a little bit harder to find it. Maryville still able to rotate so quickly and shut down any attempts that St. Clair might have. They're always able to cut out that second man that St. Clair's trying to set up a play to.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it was one of the number one things when Arju was on this team that I remember I always pointed out was it seemed like attacks from other opposing sides never got a chance to get going. And now,
oh wow,
we're going to see his speed and company can continue to take over. St. Clair notably low on boost right now. They have to try to find a way to clear out, but I don't know if it's going to happen right now, Ev. Maryville, they just have their feet dug in.
Well, I just got to point out Sai with an absolute monster save. It looked like Arju had it. I mean, that was a play we've seen him do 1,000 times. You know, setting up in the air, the net is wide open, but Sai just flying in at the last possible second, keeping this one knotted up at 1. Hopefully that's going to pay dividends for St. Clair. They are still fighting tooth and nail to get this ball out of their zone. Maybe try and survive until overtime. One more attempt potentially for St. Clair. Sai with a shot that will miss its target. Vesh not able to find it either. 2 seconds left to go. Maryville, one last shot that hits off the crossbar. Almost going through for Maryville. Overtime needed once again. Let's see if St. Clair can maybe find something positive here.
Oh man, you gotta watch out. It's already past 1, and I was gonna say, this is really good for Maryville right now. They can get set in their offense. This is a great shot from Speed, a save out from Zai. But St. Clair already in very dangerous positions to start this OT out. Another one gets sent back in. Vesh, the double save. Players are kind of just up right now, sitting on boost. The fake, it's going to be able to force up a couple. The pass infield, this one just barely misses the top corner. But Maryville, they're all over St. Clair right now. They're not letting them breathe now, Evan.
No, and that's how they're going to get you, right? Just suffocate on this attack. Don't let St. Clair get any opportunities in Maryville's end, and just shut this down early. Asai, or Arju, I should say, trying to go for that flip reset, but going to get off the car. Sending it right back to midfield, but Maryville trying to wrestle control back as St. Clair going up in the air for it. The waiting wave going to be there first to send it right back in to Maryville control as Jazzy now. He's tasked with sending this one right back the other way. But Maryville still unrelenting in their attack, trying to keep this one all knotted for now. But St. Clair still fighting. But you have to think that the longer that Maryville extends these possessions, the more dangerous it's going to get for St. Clair.
And I think that's the number one thing, right? It's Maryville. They've been so good on ball, and you know what? That's going to do it right there. And man, who else to end the series and strike sorrow into the hearts of St. Clair? It just had to be Arju. A great pass from Speed, but that's going to do it in a sweep. Maryville, they've had chokes, they've had blunders in CRL before. I thought maybe St. Clair would be able to get over that hump, but this tonight was not the night to do it on. Maryville, they lock in, they play to their best, and they get the job done in a sweep.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to give credit where credit is due. Absolutely,
Scary, man.
Absolutely the better team tonight, and like you said, it just couldn't be written any better with Arju scoring that last goal for Maryville. So, not our night, unfortunately, but if St. Clair can end the CRL season on a bit of a high note, there is definitely potential for a rematch of both of these teams coming up later.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that definitely would be a matchup that St. Clair is going to circle on their calendar if it comes to fruition. But for now, you know, at least you go 1-1. That's sort of where we were thinking this was going to end tonight. I think that was my prediction, actually, taking down Fisher but not getting past Maryville. I think
you did say that, yeah.
I did think that it was going to be a little bit closer with this Maryville series, but I mean, they definitely came out and just completely dominated from start to finish. I mean, I don't think St. Clair had the lead at any point in that series. It was just only playing from behind for St. Clair, and still a lot to be done if they want to consider themselves the absolute highest echelon of CRL play. At least one more game left to go against Baylor, so we can look forward to that. See if they can end their season on a high note, but I know that I'm going to be ending my week on a high note because we have a pretty fun event coming up. And you know what? This is the last time it gets promoted on stream.
Yeah.
So let's make the most of it right now. It's Sakura Fest, obviously. This is happening this Saturday. 2 days left, guys. So this is your last chance to take advantage of early bird pricing. $10 for general, $40 for premium. We just posted the merch available in the premium bundles on social, so make sure you go check that out. It's pretty swanky, I think. We had the tote bag on here not too long ago, so pretty good looking stuff. Make sure you can take advantage of that. Sign up at that QR code. I mean, so many big things happening at Sakura Fest on Saturday. We got to look at a little bit of the run of show, and I don't know how much I can reveal about what's happening, but there definitely is something that I was really shocked about that's going to be happening around maybe like 5 or 6 o'clock. I won't say it because I don't know if it's supposed to be a surprise or not. Yeah, I won't say it. They're telling me not to, but I'm just gonna say if you're in the know with anime, you're gonna want to tune in. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, well, you know what? We'll have to wait from Saturday, won't we? And, man, you know, I got to say a quick shout-out to the prod team as well, behind the cameras, doing all the work. I want to give a special shout-out to Owen, Hayden, Adam, Lello. I think, am I missing out on anyone else? Adrian, of course, on wireless as well, collecting some of these shots. And shout-out to you guys. Shout-out to the players, the coaches, the staff. Obviously, Ario, Luca, appreciate y'all giving it your all on this series. You guys really came through and did your thing. Kudos to you guys, and good luck for the rest of your season in CRL, and good luck to the rest of us as well for the rest of CRL, because we're going to close things out, and hopefully by playoffs, we'll run into each other once more of a fated duel that we're hoping will go a little bit longer next time.
Well, I mean, it's always cinema when St. Clair goes up against Maryville. But it's
maybe not this time.
Maybe a little bit of a horror movie tonight if you're on the side of St. Clair, but that's okay. Before we wrap up, though, we want to make sure we shout out our sponsors. So we got to give a quick shout out to Tim Hortons, Subway, Alienware, Pre-Fire, Onezo, the SRC, and the Alumni Association. And Patrick, we won't get to say this too many more times this semester. So again, let's make the most of it now. Thank you, sponsors. And again, thank you guys so much for watching tonight. We will be back on Saturday for Sakura Fest. We want to see as many people as we can on stream and on the day of. So until then, have a great night, Saints Nation.